welcome to Think Tech Hawaii. My name is Kim Lau, and this program is called Hawaii Rising. The focus of this show is about people helping people to develop the economy as well as the community, because that's the only way we'll be able to create a sustainable future for Hawaii. So today we're going to talk about second chances. We all make mistakes, that is very true, but does everyone deserve a second chance? In a speech made in 2005, President Obama said, "The United States jails people at the highest rate in the world, and we need to make greater efforts to rehabilitate millions of former prisoners." In his words, there are so many Americans who desperately want to earn a second chance. This speech was made in New Jersey. He also went on to say, "The problem we're trying to solve is not just catching people and putting them back in jail, but giving them a foundation with which they can become productive citizens." He goes on to note that nearly 70 million Americans have some sort of criminal record, and more than 600,000 people are released from state and federal prisons every year. Yet, asking about past felony convictions is standard on job applications, and it's actually allowed under federal Equal Employment Opportunity Commission guidelines. So that very simple question that you find on any job application, have you ever been convicted of a felony, limits the opportunity for these offenders being released from jail. The word recidivism refers to a person's relapse into criminal behavior. So if a released criminal is rearrested within 3 years of being released, the word is called recidivism. The word desistance refers to the process by which a person arrives at a permanent state of non-offending. So they would never be arrested again. So an offender released from prison can either recidivate or desist. The Bureau of Justice Statistics studies have found high rates of recidivism among released prisoners. One study tracked 404,638 prisoners in 30 states after their release from prison in 2005. This is what the study showed. Within 3 years of release, about 2/3 of released prisoners were rearrested. Within 5 years of release, about 3/4 of released prisoners were rearrested. Of those prisoners who were rearrested, more than half were arrested by the end of their first year. Now let's look at the numbers here in Hawaii. The Hawaii State Department of Health released a recidivism update in 2014. They looked at 2,905 offenders from fiscal year 2011. Of these offenders, 2,360 were male, while 544 were female. In fiscal year 2011, the recidivism rate for Hawaii was 51.5%. By gender, males had a recidivism rate of 53%, while females had a recidivism rate of 45%. So why is it so important that these people get a successful transition? Even modest reductions in recidivism could yield huge savings. This was stated in the New York Times in 2011. For example, a study released in 2011 by the Pew Charitable Trust estimated that Texas could save $33.6 million. New York could save $42 million, and California could save a whopping $233 million in the first year alone if they cut the recidivism rate by even 10%. This is because state prison costs are mainly driven by recidivism. But in addition to reducing recidivism and crimes committed by reoccurring offenders, a successful transition allows past criminals to actually become contributing members of the community and the economy. By allowing these people or helping these people to get a job, they can support themselves instead of being a drain to the economy. And using their successful transition to raise themselves, they can also help raise their families and their children. One of the organizations here in Hawaii that is helping with facilitate these second chances and these successful transitions is the YWCA of Oahu. And not only are they assisting with transitions from incarceration. They also assist with transitions from abuse, such as abusive relationships or poverty. The YWCA is a very unique place where women and girls can build relationships for life and have the opportunities to move forward in life and give back to their communities. They were established in 1900, and for the last over 100 years, the YWCA has provided women the opportunity for growth, leadership, and the power for change. Their mission is empowering women and eliminating racism. And the amazing programs that they have at the YWCA allows them to support this mission. And by helping women, the YWCA not only helps the women themselves, but their families and their children. So I'd like to introduce today our guests here from the YWCA. This is Kehaulani Coleman and Bettelynn Smith. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you for asking.
So can you tell us what your current positions at the YWCA is, Bettelynn?
I'm a program coordinator for Going Places Network and for Professional Women's Group. Going Places Network is a job readiness program, so we help women get employed. Professional Women's Group is once employed, is job retention, how to keep that job.
And Kehaulani?
I'm the Director of Economic Advancement Programs at the YWCA.
Thank you. And can you tell us the path that led you to the YWCA? You didn't always start off as nonprofit, working for nonprofits. How about Kehaulani first?
Well, I had a whole life in the mainland that didn't have anything to do with nonprofits and everything to do with for-profits. I ran my own business for 8 years, and I've had a consultancy. So when I came back to Hawaii in 1991, I decided I wanted to do something completely different, and that was the beginning of my nonprofit life. So I've been working with nonprofits ever since the early 90s.
And when did you join the YWCA?
In 2005.
And how about you, Bettelynn?
For myself, I retired in 2007 from Kaiser Permanente, and I knew I wanted to do community service. So I started off at local ministries at my church. From there, I saw Kehaulani on KITV. She spoke of programs here programs at the YWCA, and I thought I could volunteer there. So I called, became a volunteer. In 2013, she asked me to come aboard part-time as a program coordinator.
And have you been able to use the skills that you've learned in previous jobs towards what you do at the Y today? So, for example, for Kaiser?
Absolutely. I did a lot of quality control. This would be with patient care. So if we had a family member that had questions, that was concerned about the health care to their loved one, they would come into hospital administration, and I would partner with them in trying to get answers, trying to partner with physicians, nursing liaisons. And it's the same thing I bring to the program coordinator, meeting the needs of our participants that are in need of employment and later job retention.
So for me, I think the strongest skill that I brought, well, two things. One was just business ownership, because you get the good opportunity to learn how to run everything, because you have to. And I think training and teaching is always a strong skill of mine, and so and it's something I really enjoy. So that's an aspect that I still continue to do in my work now.
That's great. So there are 3 centers or locations for the YWCA. A lot of times people picture Laniakea as being the YWCA. Can you tell us a little bit about Laniakea as well as the other facilities?
So we have, these 3 facilities have been on Oahu for a long time, many years. So Laniakea, which is on Richard Street, is our administrative center, as well as our biggest programs are located there. The Dress for Success program, the Women's Make Business and Leadership Center, Health and Wellness, our cafe is there, and all the administration is there. Fernhurst is a residence, so women actually live with us there. And I can talk about it later, what program we have there. And then Kokokahi is a camp and retreat on Kaneohe Bay. So they all are really quite different. And what we're really trying to do in our programming now, particularly in economic advancement, is to utilize all of our facilities in delivering our program.
And when you refer to our cafe, we're talking Cafe Julia, right?
Right.
A lot of people
Yeah.
in the area know Cafe Julia and love
Right.
Cafe Julia.
Right. But you know, the health and wellness programs, the oldest programs, you know, if you grew up in Hawaii in my time, almost all of us, I came to the YWCA. I went there in I won't even say when, how old I was, maybe 7 or 8, to learn hula, to learn how to swim. And almost all of my cohorts in that same age group, we all came for something. So the community is pretty rich with women who have been through there at one point or another.
That's true, because when I asked my mom about her experience with the YWCA, she said, oh, it used to be a social center.
Mhm.
So I went there. She went there for socials. A lot of people have said they went there for swim lessons when they're a little kid.
Yeah.
And so that's what comes to mind, like off the top of your mind when people say YWCA, like the pool.
Yeah, because the pool is so evident, so everyone thinks about that.
So I guess from a community resource, the YWCA offers aquatics, such
Yeah.
as the pool and their heated pools, which
Right.
drive up
Nice.
the expenses.
Makes it more expensive, but
Yeah.
it's awfully nice.
It's nice for
Yes.
our members.
Yeah.
And especially because they're older members, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
they
so we
do-
have what we call them our mermaids. So they usually come in the morning. They come every morning. There's many of them, and so having a heated pool is wonderful.
Is
We have a pool
essential.
at Kokokahi also, and it's heated also. So
Can we talk about Kokokahi a little bit? Not a lot of people know what that is, and it's so amazing. It's actually quite large facilities and quite a large area itself.
it's 11 acres.
Wow.
So it's right on the Kaneohe Bay. But it's always been a camp and retreat. My sister, who was 12 years older than I, because I grew up in Kaneohe, I remember our family taking her to camp and retreat over there. So it's been there an awfully long time, and it has a variety of activities that are going on there now. But their aquatics program, I think, is a very strong one.
And you can, the public can rent facilities?
You can absolutely rent the
Yeah,
facility.
you can have family reunion.
Or like business retreats?
Business
or-
retreats. There's a beautiful room for conferencing with kitchen right on the ocean.
Maybe even a wedding or something? maybe?
Weddings, perfect place for a
Parties.
wedding. It's beautiful for a wedding.
That's amazing. And this is in Kaneohe Bay?
Yeah, it's in Kaneohe Bay. Yeah. So for those of us who came from that area, we know Kokokahi is like a little district. But yeah, it's between, say, Kaneohe and the Marine Corps on
Okay.
Kaneohe Bay Drive. Yeah.
And one of the last parts of your community programs is the fitness center. Also in classes, the Y has a fitness center in Laniakea.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, yes,
definitely. The health and wellness program has been exceptional. From Zumba classes, yoga, Tai Chi,
Oh, wow.
personal fitness. All you need to do is call, speak to the director, sign up for classes, the membership, yearly annual fee, and it's right downtown, very convenient for a lot of business people.
Yeah.
So a lot of us on the staff also participate in the classes. So I take hula 3 times a week.
Oh, I didn't even know
Uh,
there's all those classes.
Yeah.
I better sign up.
Yeah, so you can, work and then go exercise.
Yeah, wow. Beautiful facilities.
Yes, and we have men. We have several men that come and play basketball.
So YWCA is not only
it's
for
not just-
women, the
No,
facilities
it's
itself.
For both.
For both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Perfect for people downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in addition to the actual facilities and the community programs that you have specialized programs for mostly women in transition. Can you explain to me what that phrase means, transition?
Well, women in the economic advancement programs, that's really specific to women in transition. Other programs are not necessarily.
Okay.
But when we say that, we mean that women are coming out of challenging life situations. So they're coming out of incarceration, out of domestic violence, divorce, illness, homelessness, or just unemployment. So in all of those situations, that's what the economic advancement programs focus on.
Okay.
Coming out. So downtown, through the Dress for Success program, we're working with people who are coming out and need jobs. At Fernhurst, there are women who are coming out and they will need housing.
So we will get into more detail about these programs after a short commercial break. And again, this is Think Tech Hawaii. The program is called Hawaii Rising, and we're with the YWCA today. Thank you for watching.
Hello, I'm Stephen Katz, and I'm the host of Shrink Wrap, which comes to you live every Tuesday at 3 p.m. on thinktechhawaii.com, and then it's repeated again whenever you want if you go to the website. On our show, we will be talking to all different kinds of therapists, psychologists, psychoanalysts, psychiatrists, people who talk about the mind, the brain, and about different ways to find happiness. I myself am a marriage and family therapist in practice here in Hawaii, and I hope you will join us because I've got a lot to learn, you've got a lot to learn, and it's a great ride. Thanks a lot. See you soon.
Aloha, this is Maria Mera, and I'm here to invite you to my bilingual show, Viva Hawaii on Think Tech Hawaii, every other Monday at 3 p.m. We're here to inform, motivate, and entertain you. Join us. Hola, soy María Mera y estoy aquí para invitaros a mi show bilingüe Viva Hawaii en Think Tech Hawaii cada 2 lunes a las 3 de la tarde. Estamos aquí para informaros, motivaros y entreteneros. Apuntaros.
Hi, welcome back to Think Tech Hawaii. This program is called Hawaii Rising, and my name is Kim Lau. Today we have Kehaulani Coleman and Bettelynn Smith from the YWCA of Oahu. Thank you for being here again. So we're talking about some of the programs at the YWCA, but let's first, before we get into the programs, try to understand what the YWCA's mission is.
Well, the YWCA's mission is simple in its wording, and that is to empower women and to eliminate racism. And we do that through our programming. That's how we fulfill our mission, various ways.
And one of those, I guess, programs that really help fulfill that mission is Dress for Success.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Dress for Success is a worldwide organization centered in New York City that there's now about 150 affiliates around the world in about 20 countries. So it's a big organization in that respect. Started on the real simple premise of an individual received $5,000 as an inheritance from her grandfather, and she and 2 nuns in the basement of her home tried to figure out a way to make that work for the community, and that's where the whole idea of getting gently used donated clothing to help women get jobs.
And it's amazing that an idea or a small amount of money and just that effort and putting your heart into it can make such a difference to like the nation.
Yeah,
nationally.
it's like in the world though. It's the thing. So when you go to conference, you meet people from all over the world who have a Dress for Success program. It's really great.
Wow. So can you tell me a little bit about exactly what the program does?
So Dress for Success has been at the YWCA Oahu since 2002. And it started with its suiting program, what we call a suiting program, and that's essentially what we just said. It's gently donated business attire from the community that is then put in a boutique. A woman is referred to us by a case manager who's looking for a job. She meets with a personal shopper who is a volunteer, and then she has an appointment to either get a complete outfit for an interview, or after she gets the job, she can come back for 2 complete outfits for her employment. So that's essentially the suiting program. So it's well known. It's been around the longest, and all day long our community is donating clothing.
So can you tell us how, if women out there have gently used business attire, how can we get that to the YWCA?
Well, you have to bring it to 1040 Richard Street. We have a loading zone out front, and we have staff right in the door who are ready to help and to give a receipt. And it really is kind of amazing. I guess the program's been around in our community long enough that donations are coming in all day long. But I like to tell people that the way one can give is, first of all, financially, is second of all with your time and your expertise, which is what you do for us, and then thirdly, clothing. You know, all of those things really matter, especially time. We have 70 volunteers, so they do a lot of the work.
And if you wanted to volunteer for the YWCA, how would you go about doing that as well?
Well, you can call us at 695-2603, 695-2603, and ask for Shirley. She's our volunteer coordinator. And then you can come have a tour, find out what we do as an organization and then also as a program. See if that's something that you would like, if the jobs that we have interest you, and then you go from there.
All right, thank you. And after a woman gets her suiting, I think the first thing that she feels is confidence. Why is confidence so important, Bettelynn?
It starts from within as much as it is physically. And if she has never worked, if she has never had anyone tell her, you look fantastic from head to toe, is when we suit you. So that confidence comes not only from physically, but it comes from internally. And that just changes a woman's outlook. It actually gives her that confidence to say, when I go for that interview, I'm going to land that job.
I think one thing important to remember is that where they're coming from, like we said, they're coming out of difficult situations. So if you've been incarcerated, say, 8-10 years, to come out into the workplace is, it's frightening.
Yeah.
And you've been out for a long time.
It's intimidating. So we're not just talking personal appearance, looking pretty. We're talking about building
Confidence
that
from inside.
Yeah, that they can,
Yeah,
that they're
they
actually
can.
employable, they can.
And once a woman
If that client does not get the job, we have our job readiness program. It runs anywhere from 7 to 8 weeks, and it's held at the YWCA on Richard Street in our Career Center. So Going Places Network started 3 years ago, and we do everything from resume writing, cover letters, but the best thing that I always say is that when we have volunteers like you, Kimberly, coming in as career coaches, so they come in for 7 to 8 weeks, they have classwork, they learn how to interview, and we even do mock interviews where we videotape them, so they really find out what they need to improve on. But it's that last hour of class from 11 to 12 is where we pair them with a career coach. And within that hour, they have that one-on-one coaching from a professional woman that actually is a volunteer. She actually volunteers her time. But it's a unique program that started 3 years ago, and we're really proud of it.
So actually, I am one of those mentors, like you've mentioned, and so we coach and mentor these women coming out of transition. And from a volunteer point of view, I think we were more afraid to come into this program because we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know how to talk to these women or if they would be receptive. But the thing coming out of it as a mentor, I think we gained more than the women themselves had gained.
Oh.
Because these women are so strong and beautiful, in their own right, and people don't see that. And it's hard, like we talked about, I guess giving second chances.
Yes.
And that is definitely about getting that second chance, because these women are there to work hard and they really want to be there.
And these are women that are referred by case managers. So as Kehau said, they come from domestic violence, they come from homelessness, they come from incarceration, whether it's federal or state. When they come in, you almost have to build a trust. You almost have to let them know they're in a safe area. We are here to help them. And by the 7th, 8th week, they have bloomed, not only employed, but personality, confidence, everything. It's exciting.
Yeah, you really see the transition from the day they walk in to the day that they get their job or they graduate from the program. It is amazing. And if women out there want to be volunteers, I think you will gain much more from that experience than probably what these women are gaining from you. So I mean, don't be afraid to go out there, and it's definitely a learning experience and a growth experience from a volunteer standpoint.
Well, I think the thing to know too is that on an average, this program's been running since 2013. We have won an award for it in 2013, but also that in general, by the end of a cohort, we do about 4 of those a year. 70% of the women are employed before the program's even done. So I think that says a lot too.
Because employment is helping them with this transition and helping them economically, financially, and that reduces their rate of recidivism.
Right.
Absolutely.
Because they can prove to themselves that they can work. They do have something to give. They can earn their own paycheck.
Yeah, and they're worthy, definitely.
Absolutely. And just to have a program located downtown that is able to serve women has been incredible. So when you cannot get employed, then we have an employment coach that takes a little bit more time with each of our participants. But our goal is to get them employed. Even though the cohort has ended, we continue to work with them.
And once these women are employed, you don't just let them go. There's another step to this
Professional
program.
Women's Group. It's a job retention program. It's about a year old.
It's about a year old,
About
yeah.
a year old. Now it's how to keep that job. It's a membership. We meet once a month, every second Thursdays in the evening at the YWCA. We have dinner. From there, we go down to the Career Center, and we have guest speakers, and we have lectures, and it's how to keep that job.
So this seems like a cycle that you have at the YWCA. It's a purposeful program where you keep stepping them through every phase of their transition to make sure that, you know, those first 2 years, and why is that those first 2 years out of incarceration so important?
Well, I guess, you know, once you've established yourself in your new life, and you can make it on your own, then there's not much reason to be doing anything that is really illegal. I mean, you know, you can make it on your own.
So once they pass those first 2 years, their rate for getting
For
returning to incarceration is much lower.
Right, yeah. Yeah, but the other thing about the Professional Women's Group is that it's also a career development program. So sometimes in the Going Places Network, they may get a job that isn't really their ideal job, or it's not enough hours, or it's not enough pay. And so Professional Women's Group is really kind of the task there, and it's a big one, is to say, how do we move you up from the job that you've got now?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's going to require skills and coaching and all kinds of things. It's a big lift.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the reality of it. I mean, lots of people, you know, will get an entry-level job, but if they have children and they're a single mother, that's not enough.
Right.
So how do we get them to a place where, you know, it's where they can live?
And so there's also a final step to this program about becoming entrepreneurs, and we'll talk about that once we get back from the commercial break.
Okay.
So again, this is Kim Lau, Think Tech Hawaii. The program is called Hawaii Rising.
Aloha, I'm Kaui Lucas, host of Hawaii is My Mainland, here on Think Tech Hawaii every Friday at 3 p.m. We address issues of importance for those of us who live here on the most isolated landmass on the planet. Please come join me Fridays at 3 p.m. Mahalo.
Aloha, I'm Kehaulani.
Well, we're really happy to have it.
Aloha, I'm Kehaulani with the Grassroots Institute of Hawaii, and one of our delights is to be partnered with ThinkTech Hawaii and produce programs every week. Every Monday at 2 o'clock, we have a show called E Hana Kako, which means let's work together. So we bring people from all across the nation and the country, and certainly throughout the islands together here to talk with them about how to work together, and how to work together to do the following: to build a better economy, a better government, a better society. So if you're interested in the research of our think tank, the Grassroots Institute, or if you're interested in how that's applied at the governmental and community and business levels, you'll enjoy the fascinating conversations with our guests on E Hana Kako every week on ThinkTech Hawaii at 2 o'clock on Mondays. Until our next show, I'll see you. Aloha.
Hi, welcome back to Think Tech Hawaii. This program is called Hawaii Rising, and my name is Kim Lau. Today we have Kehaulani Coleman and Bettelynn Smith from the YWCA of Oahu. We were just talking about the Dress for Success program, and I guess the final part of that program is called Personal Pathways. Can you explain a little bit about what that means?
Well, Personal Pathways is an in-between program between Dress for Success and the Mink Business and Leadership Center. So if you think about it, if a woman comes to gain employment and then decides over time to go on and start her own business, we could take her there. We can take a person through the Dress for Success employment aspect, and then at the Mink Business and Leadership Center, they can take her into business ownership. So that's about as far as one can go in a professional life, you know.
Right.
So you can really explore both of those, you know, for yourself, and so that's a really powerful thing. So what we have now is a program that works between, that we both co-sponsor, called Personal Pathways, and it's really a personal development, a professional development program, and it's a series. So right now we have Gwen Fujie, who is a well-known speaker, doing a 4-workshop series, and I think some of the women from your office came to the last one, so it was great to see them. But for our clients who are in the economic advancement part, it's a stretch for them. They get to come out and be with other women, who are professional, who have different sorts of jobs and different points of view, and so it's really a great stretch for them to come out and network with these other women, to be a full-on part of the workshop, and it's an experiment for us, but I think it's one way to tie the two centers together.
So can you tell us a little bit about the Patsy T. Mink Center?
Well, the Patsy T. Mink Center is the contract from the Small Business Administration for the Women's Business Center. So you see women's business centers all around the country. And so we currently have the contract. And so sometimes it's called Women's Business Center, but at the YWCA it's called the Mink, Patsy T. Mink Business and Leadership Center. So there are some leadership aspects too, but the Business Center is a lot about business startup, entrepreneurship. Now they have a new program in terms of business expansion for existing businesses. They have lots of workshops around those subjects. They have one-on-one counseling for anybody who's interested in starting a business. And then they have a leadership portion. For instance, we just had a girls' summit, and there were 150 students from St. Andrews Priory and Farrington High School who came to learn all about jobs and resumes and that sort of. They had their own conference, but we also have you know, big workshops like Wahine Forum that happens with very noted speakers of the Mink Business and Leadership Center.
And are the programs at the center available to the general public?
Yes.
And is it limited to women?
No. Yeah.
So men, general public, men
Right.
can attend
The Pathways.
the Pathways program at the Patsy T. Mink.
And well, not only the Pathways program, but also entrepreneurship training, business
Sure.
counseling. It's open.
So what a fantastic public resource for everybody.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
Right.
And you also have one more program for your women in transition. It's called Fernhurst.
Yes, so Fernhurst, we've just now changed the use of that facilities July 1 of last year. And we brought in, so we have 2 programs going there. It's we have 2 floors. So on floor 2, we have a work furlough program, so women coming out of incarceration who are community ready and they're ready to get employed as their last step before parole. And then on the 3rd floor, we have women who have graduated out of that program or are now on parole. And their next step is going to be just permanent housing in the community. So that's a change for us at Fernhurst. Fernhurst has been around for a long, long time. And it's a very, very exciting program. It's innovative. It's the only program, work furlough program, that is out in the community, is community-based. The other work furlough program is at the prison for programs for women.
And Fernhurst is located in...
And so Fernhurst is located in Makiki. Yeah.
And it's a dormitory type?
It's a dormitory type of situation. Each of the programs have their own rules and parameters, but we try and operate it as much as we can as one community. So we have garden, and we have, we're going to be having exercise. They're going to be able to come downtown to exercise. On Saturday, we went voyaging on the canoe. So we are doing things that I think a lot of times people wouldn't think would be happening in a work furlough program. These are the same women who come downtown to Dress for Success for their employment program, and they really are a great group of women. They're very enthusiastic. They're energetic. They're good workers, and they like to work. So they've been a really wonderful to work with. So in that program, we say that we are gender responsive, that we are trauma informed, because at the heart of incarceration is usually trauma, that we're culturally sensitive, we have a large Polynesian Hawaiian population, and that we're strengths-based, that we are looking at you from your gift, from your strength, moving out from there versus all the things that you don't have, you know. So it's unique in that way. It has a lot of wonderful community partners who, now that they've moved to the YWCA, it's a 22-year-old program that came from T.J. Mahoney. It's a state program. So now that they've moved into the YWCA, we're just looking at so many possibilities for these women, and it's really, really exciting.
I think as a volunteer with the YWCA, I do it because I learn more, I think, by giving back and seeing these women and giving them a second chance and helping them become members of society. I think it's a huge contribution back to the community. Can I ask you, maybe Bettelynn first, why do you do what you do with the YWCA, and why do you think it's important? Like, what motivates you?
Definitely the outcomes when we have serviced so many women, being able to see the change, being able to see the confidence, being able to see them get employed. When I started out as a volunteer, we knew nothing of the paperwork except they went ahead and explained to us how to suit the client. So we didn't know that the referral came from a federal prison or state prison, or that this person in front of me came from a, I guess it's called a confidential home, because the husband is after her, so she's domestic violence. So with all of that, we see the change once we suit them, and then once they get employed, it's even more amazing. But that's what motivates me, is being able to give back. Once you give back, the client comes to you and they'll tell you, what can I do? How can I give back? Can I volunteer? Can I? And it's the chain reaction.
And there's actually been some clients, some women who've been through your programs, who who are now
They're
volunteers.
peer mentors and volunteers.
Yeah.
It's because of women like you that show them that things can be done. And so many times after their counseling with the career coach and they've graduated, they're all wanting to, how do I give back? You know, I really enjoyed my session with the counselor. It shows me that I can do it. How do I help? And that's amazing, amazing from these women.
And how about you, Kehaulani? What motivates you?
I think the thing that motivates me the most is that almost all of these women are mothers and grandmothers. So if you help a woman, you are helping a family. And that's really important because there's a lot of work to be done around sometimes reuniting with their families, both children and the rest of their family. So to be a part of that reunification, if you talk about how you help your community, you're really helping families.
So just to recap what you said, the YWCA does not just help women. We're helping women, we're helping children, we're helping families. And in turn, that helps the community, that drives the economy, that's doing wonderful things for the place that we live in. So yes, I believe people do deserve second chances.
Mm-hmm. Just to be clear, the Dress for Success program and Fernhurst only serves women. Just to let you know that. But yes. We just had a guest speaker the other day who said, he's the CEO of a company, and he said he believes that all of us needed a second chance of some kind. Somebody gave him one. So, of course we should have second chances.
Absolutely.
So we're coming to the end of the program today. I'd like to just, recap that, if people want to come down and volunteer, connect with the YWCA. The YWCA also gives tours. They're called YW
Connect.
YW Connect.
Yeah, they're what we call mission tours, and that's a great way to get to know us, to come through and see what we're doing, particularly at YWCA, and go from there. You'll get a better feeling it's kind of hard to tell otherwise.
So there's one, the next one is coming up this Wednesday.
Yes.
And it's every 2 weeks on Wednesdays from 12 to 1.
Right, includes lunch.
Yeah, you get a free lunch for Hef and Julia.
And you have to, reserve a spot because sometimes they're full. Sometimes whole companies will come in, and then we're full. Your company came in.
Yes, we did.
Yes, so
we invite everyone.
Yeah.
So thank you again for coming to talk to us today about the YWCA. We learn great things, and people just get involved, come down, volunteer, donate, do anything that you can, because the YWCA has a great mission and they're helping people, help the community, helping the economy. So again, thank you for being here, Kehaulani.
Thank you for the work that you
Bettelynn.
do
Thank
with
you.
us.
Appreciate it.